Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Campus Convos. I'm your host, Denise LaFrance Okinaga, and today we are joined by Mylese Murdoch, who is with DACC's education program. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about our education program.
So the education program at DACC has actually two strands. So the first strand is our education side, and the second strand is our early childhood side. So our education side, we have 6 degree programs that are associate degree pathways. We have the Associate of Elementary Education, the Associate of Special Education Elementary. We have the Associate of Secondary Science, Secondary Language Arts, Secondary Social Studies, and Secondary Math. So students have 6 pathways in education. These would be students who are looking to go into public education teaching. They will choose their pathway, start here, and they can move seamlessly over to NMSU to finish their final 2 years and obtain their bachelor degree. In the early childhood program, we have the Associate of Early Childhood, and that prepares students to seamlessly transfer to NMSU to become in the bachelor program and finish their bachelor degree, or they may just actually finish with their associate's degree and work in industry. So there's multiple pathways. We do have 2 certificates available in early childhood. We have the Certificate of Child Development and we have the Administrator's Certificate, and both of these certificates have a pathway with the state to obtain state certifications with these licensures, and they are able to go out and utilize those certificate licensures.
Everything you need is right here.
It is a great place for students to start, and they can actually transfer to any 4-year institution, but we do have a seamless transfer into NMSU. And so we do set our students up for whatever pathway they would like, and if students want to come in and talk to us, we're happy to help them on their pathways.
So we're talking about preparing students for becoming educators. And so we're sitting in one of our classrooms, and as you can see, it is set up pretty much as an actual classroom. Can you tell me a little bit about this space that we're sitting in?
Sure. So this was our early childhood classroom, and our early childhood education classes we try to schedule in this room as much as possible, and we utilize the materials. So we have 2 bookshelves of manipulatives, and we have birth to age 8 covered in early childhood. So if you can see, there's a level, different levels of manipulatives available for students to utilize. Even last night I came into a class that was going on here in this room, and I watched students in a circle. They were using manipulatives, they were actually using some of the puppets. They use the materials as they learn, and we wanted the classrooms to be reflective of the spaces that they would be teaching in the future. So next door we actually have an education classroom, and if you walked in that classroom you would see things appropriate for elementary, middle, and high school. And the room is set up a little bit differently, but definitely students have the opportunity to learn in a space that would be reflective of where they're headed.
Definitely. So, you know, educators are always so important. Tell me, why is it important for students or anybody that's interested to become an educator, especially here in New Mexico?
So New Mexico is a unique state. We are a bilingual state, number one. We also have the indigenous populations, and as well as others in the state. So we have multiple languages being spoken across the state. We have different cultures being exhibited in classrooms. So one of our goals at DACC is to ensure that our students have the background necessary to manage all of the different aspects that are unique to New Mexico. So we focus on culturally and linguistically relevant teaching strategies. We want to honor families and their cultural background. We want to understand how to teach students with different first language than English. We want to also ensure that we are meeting the needs of children developmentally. So one of the things that we focus on is really wanting students to understand not only child development, understanding stages and ages, understanding developmentally appropriate practices, but we also want to ensure that they're meeting the needs unique to our area.
Yeah.
We know early education is vital and critical for everyone, but we also need to understand that what we can do with young children and in elementary, middle, and high school is we can change trajectories, and we can help New Mexico grow into a different state than we currently are through this educational process.
So our students that graduate from the program, especially those that may go on to obtain their bachelor's degrees, what type of fields are they going into? Are they becoming teachers or?
So most of our students in the education program go on to become public school teachers. New Mexico is one of the states that has made some significant changes in education lately, and one of them is to increase the pay scales. So we're seeing that education is very valued in the state, and public educators are being valued in the state. And so our students will actually be set up for a career that is quite lucrative now. In the past, we didn't always have the highest level of pay scales, but that has changed in New Mexico. We also have, for early education, we're seeing pay parity changes at the state level to bring early educators into the same realm of pay scales. So as we look at education in New Mexico, we know education is a foundation for change. And I think it's very important for us to recruit and make sure we have students that are ready for the workforce when they go out. Students may also work as education assistants and paraprofessionals as they go through the program. And so it's not uncommon for our students to already be working in public school or in child care centers right now. And we are doing a great job of increasing the workforce.
Everybody has been impacted by an educator in some way or another.
Absolutely.
So anybody watching out there is interested and say, you know what, I feel like my path is to become an educator or to work in some form of education. What can they do?
So the first thing we would say is apply to DACC. Easy right there. Just apply to DACC and go through the admissions process. When we have a student come to us and say, I would like to become an educator, we have 2 advisors that are exclusive to our program, and we have several advisors that can help if those 2 are busy. But we have 2 dedicated advisors that really work with our students to find the right pathway for them. And we ask questions such as, what age of child do you want to teach? What desires do you have? What does your future look like? So that as we help and guide through the pathways, we're selecting the right pathway with the student. That's our first step. Then the next step is coming to class and making sure that our students are engaging. We need a lot of students with strong critical thinking skills, organizational skills. We need students who are flexible and can pivot their thinking. If you think of a class with, say, 15 or so young children at age 5, and then we see a classroom in high school with 30 or so students, we know students have to pivot quickly in their thinking as an educator. And so we want students to have those skills going through our program, and we want to develop those skills in our program. So strong critical thinking, great organization, flexibility, people who are engaged in want to be around other people and children. You have to have a love for children to be in the classroom. And one of the nice things is all of our instructors are former teachers in the public sector. And so we have a lot of passion for our field. We have a lot of dynamic instructors who really want to help the next generation of teachers become successful.
Another great program that DACC offers. Thank you, Miley, so much. This was very helpful information, and it's so wonderful to know that the impact that DACC is giving into education in our city, our state, and our region. So thank you. And thank you all so much for watching this episode of Campus Convos. I'm your host, Denise Lafranzo Hinaga, and we will see you again next month.